Welcome to our tub. Come on in. It's warm inside, and there's always room for more.
This podcast contains adult material and is intended for mature audiences only. If you're under 18, grab your rubber ducky and find another tub. This one's not for you. Hello and welcome back in the tub for episode 103.
You've got mail.
I'm Mr. Berg.
And I'm Mrs. Berg.
And yes, I guess we have mail. As the email is open in the back of the computer as we sit here and record the intro to this week's episode.
Now, you can't cut this out. This
No,
has to just
it's there. I'm at the point I'm just like, yep, tough shit. There it is. Everybody gets mail. Welcome to our world. It doesn't end.
All right, so what's going on this week?
Well, this week, really, again, not much from us. We had kind of the pleasure. So a little while back, we began following a modeling agency on social media and had some conversations and reached out in regards to any of his performers that would be interested in hopping on the show. So we want to thank HBX Modeling as he reached out to some of his clients. And our interview today, wow, she got back to us on email very quickly and said, hey, I'd love to be on the show. Not honest, and we shared with her. We really were not familiar with her at all.
We are now. And
yes, and just as you listeners will be. So we took some time and sat down with Briti Black. Been in the industry since 2018, content creator, mainstream performer, model. Last year in 2023, as we discussed as well, she was a Playboy centerfold and Playboy Playmate. So really, everything we discussed really just kind of fit into a lot of what we try to portray and what we try to bring to the listeners.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say, for me, there were a lot of things that were kind of the same in our upbringing experiences and things like that.
Yeah.
So
yes, very similar.
This was one for me that was like, wow.
Yes. And again, it really kind of hit home with you, and the some of the upbringing's very similar, and then getting into the sexual positivity and the openness and finding yourself. Mm-hmm. So it was great, and we discuss as well at the end a little bit of her charity and some of the charity work she does. Just helping others and the compassion that she has. So again, great interview. We had a great time talking with her. Again, thank you, HBX Modeling and Briti Black.
I hope you enjoy the interview as much as we did sitting down and getting to know her.
Yeah. So I think we're just going to let the interview run, and then that'll be a wrap. So with that, I think we're just going to kind of, I guess, give our little flow out right now. This is as this airs, this will be the last week for AVN voting. So be sure to get on to AVN Awards and get your fan votes in the last week. That ends on January 27th at 3 p.m.
So wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes.
Go vote.
Again, get out and get those in. Remember to follow us on our socials, Berg Couple for Fun on Twitter and Instagram, Berg Couple on Reddit, The Bergs on Facebook, and
there's a couple more.
There are a few more now. And yes, we've talked about it before. We are now finally approved, and we are now Berg Couple for Fun on OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Berg on Loyal Fans. And again, we're working through these content creator platforms and having some fun with it. We will get to the point of consistent. That's really what we're trying to work on now, is getting daily posts up. And yes, both sites, we have not put a subscription price on. There are paid media going out, though, minimal as well. So, we're looking to kind of expand it and really just have some fun with it. So be sure to check those out as well if you're out and perusing the interwebs. So,
interwebs.
Yes. So again, we're going to go into this interview. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. Hopefully you can get out and get some fresh air. I know we were in the teens and single digits here in Western Pennsylvania for a few days, but boy, the end of this week, they're calling for the 50s. So, boy.
And now it'll rain on top of the snow.
Yeah, but 50s is shorts and tank top weather. So, hey.
Not for this one.
Yeah. Go out and safely get a little outdoor vitamin D. Mm-hmm. And then come in and get the indoor vitamin D. Again, pay for your porn. Supports Briti and all the other performers and friends that we've had on the show and upcoming on the show. All the AVN nominees.
XBiz nominees.
XBiz winners at this point. XBiz
right?
was yesterday evening, so we'll probably touch base on that within the next few episodes. Mm-hmm. Wrap it before you tap it. Lick it before you stick it. And until next time,
we'll keep the lights on and the tub warm for you.
Hello and welcome back in the tub. Our next guest is a multi-award nominated performer, content creator, and model. In 2023, she graced the centerfold in Playboy, officially gaining her bunny ears as a Playboy bunny, along with operating a nonprofit organization to help others in need, on top of everything else she is doing. Thank you to HBX Modeling for reaching out on our behalf, and for the amazing beauty, Briti Black, for joining us for this week's episode.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm happy to be joining.
Yes, and
We're
again,
happy to have you.
Yes, again, as we had said, we had kind of reached out, and very very quickly you had kind of reached out and said, "Yeah, I'd love to get on," and we're very glad you did, because as we're going through this journey and meeting performers and content creators and just great people, there's a lot out there.
Oh yeah.
We will be truly honest that until right around that point, we were not very familiar with you. And as we did research and spoke with you leading up to this interview, wow, the things that you've done and what you're involved in really just stand out as all-encompassing of what we try to portray within the industry and the people involved in it. So
that's why I definitely.
Go ahead.
I definitely did want to reach back, because reading what you guys are about, that very much caught my attention, because, like you said, there's not that many places that are wanting to just promote the normalcy of sex, and that very much appealed to me.
Well, and good, and that's as we talked prior to this, that's always been the direction, and opening people's eyes and helping others understand and maybe look at things differently is definitely a focus and what we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
As well as getting to know you and the work that you do and promote some of that. So before we kind of slide deeper into the tub and really get to know more about you, can you let the listeners know where they can find you online and on social media?
Online and social media, basically, I am Briti Black everywhere. I have BritiBlack.com on Twitter, Briti BLK on Instagram, Briti Black. And all my links, the adult links, are on britiblack.com.
All right. And that is, as we've talked to other people throughout the years, being able to keep the same name across platforms helps a lot.
Yes, that was one of the, basically before we even fully went ahead and got started with this name, that is one thing I tried to make sure of everywhere is available because of that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too many underscores and changes and yeah. Number 1 and number 3 and number, 1, 2, 5 and
oh yeah, it makes it look a little more professional if you're able to.
Yeah, definitely. So as we look at, you've been in the industry since 2018, started in the OnlyFans world.
Yes.
And based on some of our conversations, so what really led you to take that step and say, yes, this is really the direction I want to go, is into the world of content creation and the adult entertainment industry?
Well, I guess of course, maybe not for everyone, but, the first thought is I, am a little more on the kinky side. And I will say that's kind of one thing personally I enjoy, the thought of, being watched and, the kind of taboo of that. And it's like, like I said, dabbling in it, a little bit in 2018, I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. And I'm like, this could actually be a career, a fun way of making things that I enjoy doing, for others. And on the other note, it's, I guess, say more of, like what you're talking about, of like this podcast is, I really liked getting into it because, when you watch a lot of other adult things, other porn, a good majority of it is sadly pretty fake. Like, you could tell it's just not authentic. And me, I'm like, well, I would like to get into it for, like the art of it, like what beautiful scenes and say maybe stories you could actually make with it, because there's just so much fake out there. I'm like, maybe I can, contribute more of course on the, fun side, but mainly like actually make something beautiful.
And you said the word art.
Yeah.
And there was a past episode that we had a conversation with someone, and that was literally you saying that word. This is only the second time someone really used that term. And it really, it is. And what's nice is, as you said, everybody has their own form of art. So you're able to bring your own flair, your own taste, your own twist to it.
Yeah, because not knocking any other people stuff. People can enjoy obviously whatever they like and everything like that. It's like, I guess, say just the thought of like, oh, okay, I can maybe create something. Not necessarily when I watch myself, but being able to watch something that I myself would like. Okay, I could enjoy this and get into it. To me, makes it like a little bit more interesting. And of course, maybe doing some things that aren't run of the mill that you couldn't do, say, in just a normal encounter, like possibly things of the more maybe kinky side of stuff that it's not easy to obtain.
Yes, that's fair. So as you talk kink, we've discussed in previous episodes as well, and the term kink or fetish, there's so many, it's like a spider web.
Yeah.
So when you say kink, what are, some of the avenues and some of the things that you are into within that realm?
Again, because there's so many little niche markets and things. I guess say that kink of voyeurism, of being watching somebody else. Of course, being the more, definitely for me, dominant of being able to, kind of dominate, especially, I will say, when it comes to women, like kind of dominate them, maybe a little bit of BDSM play, like things like that. Definitely not the, let's just say, very deep end of the bodily things. That's
sure. Yeah.
Definitely no.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, so the dom sub roles, maybe some impact play, things in that nature.
Yeah, because I'm definitely much more, as I've learned, honestly, like I said, of, getting comfortable with, like, with your own sexuality and stuff, of, like I said, right before we started, of being essentially raised Catholic, which, not knocking Catholic, just definitely that's not my beliefs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But being raised that and being like, everything is wrong, everything's like a sin, you're going to go to hell no matter what you do. That's, they kind of try to scare you
Sure.
into
Yeah.
stuff. So I used to be pretty, like, repressed of even my own self, of I didn't necessarily know what I liked, what I didn't, because I wasn't necessarily exposed to much except what, well, kids say you tend to find online, of porn and stuff. And that's where I came into, like, a lot of this I didn't like, because I'm like, I liked more of the amateur stuff of, like, oh, you look like real, there's a connection, I can believe it. And it's like, especially when it comes to women, because stuff like that, it's hard, especially, like I said, with religion. Like, how dare you look at that? You're supposed to just, like, one set role and that's it. But that's why definitely I'm bisexual and queer, because I really would prefer to just work with women, because something like that I came more into realizing, when I was younger, I liked girls, but I didn't think much of it. But definitely now I can say I'm completely queer and bisexual. Of, I've learned, like, I've opened up of more things I like enjoying. Like, I do like, the more kinky side of things, the more expressionate of, it doesn't just have to be like plain old sex. Sex isn't bad. It's not a dirty word. And it's like, it kind of wraps, it like wraps back into this of, I'd also love to actually start creating more content with, and not necessarily like they have to be, lesbian or queer women, but make real, like, women content, because a lot of it, you could tell the women aren't really into each other. They're just doing it because it's a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we've had that conversation with other performers, because it definitely, if you are into and enjoying what you're doing on your shoot, it reflects on camera.
Yeah.
It really can. You can tell when it's almost not forced or fake, as you'd said as well, where yes, there's going to be a different moan or body reaction if you're trying to show it compared to if you're really enjoying and into what is happening.
Yeah, like that's something I very much, I think, needs to be more out there, is more, not saying, porn just for, say, women or for lesbians or for queer people, but, like, there needs to be a little more authentic when it comes to, say, girl and girl scenes, where it's like, oh, I see you two are actually, like, you know what you're doing. You're not just kind of faking it, or like, oh, I just seen another one do it, so I'm a copy. So it's like that. That's what I very much enjoy, is because I think if you can see someone that actually has a connection, it's going to make watching it, again, just personally for me, because also having an art background, I'm a very visual person. So it's like, if I can see there's something there, it's going to make it much more interesting for myself.
Right. It's that much hotter when you can tell. Like, I personally, I prefer more like amateur.
Yeah.
Because there is more of that reality of, oh shit, this position didn't work. Or, more the chemistry than some of the scripted, or, even girl, that it's right. It's just a scene. It's a job. It's their job for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, I agree. It definitely makes a difference when you can tell that the chemistry is there and it's not just being faked.
And and I can say the same, just as you said, from that voyeuristic standpoint. Again, our lifestyle, and yes, same as you were, Mrs. has explored her bisexuality, and I remember when we first started in the lifestyle, and she tagged herself on our profiles as bi-curious. And after the second kind of hookup that we had and experience, and the female that part of the couple that we were with that time, she was experienced. And after that, Mrs. goes, "Oh, we're changing that shit because I am definitely fucking bi."
I fully get that like awakening feeling.
Yes, and I've over the years and different people, there have been different scenarios where it's like, okay, this one isn't she's not as comfortable. It's not really working as right. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, it's been, yeah, it was okay, but if we don't meet up with them again, I'm okay with it.
I fully agree with it. Like, I can 100%. I agree with that.
I mean, and I was very much the same, raised Catholic school through grade school, all pretty much the same, very, very sheltered, didn't really experience like what I think the first time I watched porn was after we had gotten together and we were 18.
Yeah, 19 at that point, because I was that way, but my parents owned a video store that rented porn. So I was 13 at the time, 12, 13, with my first experience in porn. And and yeah, literally, we were probably 19 or 20 that I took her to her first sex shop, and she was like, "Oh shit, what is this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're buying a vibrator." And she was like, "What?"
It's surprised me the first time because I was younger. I don't think I've never really been in a Spencer's until I don't know, maybe I was 18, and I had no clue what they had in there. I'm like, I didn't know you were allowed to sell these things.
Yeah, but again, it does. We both understand that, and again with that filming, because you want that connection, and so fair to say around that kind of around that time is when you really started to kind of have that thought and that feeling of, all right, as you said, you were 18 going into Spencer's, like, okay, well, it's time to kind of explore that.
Well, yeah, because I will say I had high school voice. I did kind of have I guess say my first girl experience when I don't know, maybe I was like 17. I was in high school, a really close friend, and how I'm not saying girls because I'm assuming guys necessarily don't do that, but girls, we kind of you play around, give like a little kiss, you don't really think much of it. But it's like after that, and I noticed when I did used to watch porn, I noticed I tended to just like watch the women. Not saying, oh, I didn't pay attention, to like the dick going in, but I was like, I really mainly watched the girls, like their faces. I could tell I was more drawn to them. And it's like after that experience with the friend, I'm like, maybe I do like both. Are you allowed to like both? I basically, when I was younger, I didn't really know much stuff.
Sure.
But then it's like since then, I'm like, okay, I do like women. I'm like, well, okay, maybe I am bi, but it never really made a connection until I was a little older. And basically, because like you guys, I had a partner for 13 years this November, and basically wasn't until with him I 100% was able to say, you know what, I like women too. Like actually, my own self came to be like, you know what, I like women, and there's nothing wrong with that. And he's completely basically like, hey, do your thing. Like he's 100% supportive of everything.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Do what makes you happy and feel good.
Yeah.
Very good. So, as in 2018, when you got into the OnlyFans world, was that solo content?
Yeah, that was mainly solo, and then just a little bit with not a girlfriend, but a girl who was really close friends with, who she's also not in the industry, but she also did OnlyFans, and again, a very, like you guys, very open sexual person. Of she even herself has somebody, and everyone's basically like, hey, this is normal, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, great. So you transitioned a bit into mainstream in 22, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what led to that? Was it, hey, the OnlyFans following and what was happening? Was it, let's see how far I can, how far my limits or boundaries? Can you, share a little on that journey?
I guess say that was definitely more of a. I guess say it kind of started as like not a random thought, but a random thought of like, huh, there's this OnlyFans that. Then I'm like, well, you know what? People actually make a career out of this. Like, people actually can make a career out of doing, being in the adult industry. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually very curious to see where this could go. Like that. See how far I could take it in the sense of like what's actually out there. Because
Sure.
when you think of probably the adult industry, you think like, oh, it's all, back in the day, seedy, like, basically very, very bad ways of, oh, don't ever get into it because it's terrible and, things like that. So I'm like, well, I'm just generally curious. Can I actually make a career with this? Like, actually get into mainstream studios and really see where it can go.
So a big question. When you walked into your first mainstream shoot, what was
What was going through your head?
Yeah.
It's a probably combination of things. Of course, the number one is, oh my god, like I can't believe I'm actually gonna do this. Of like, oh my god, I'm gonna be filmed by someone else doing something never necessarily thought I'd be doing with someone else. And I guess it was a mix of good and bad nerves, but it's like it was invigorating type of nerves. Of I think that's the excitement is what made it more, I guess, say arousing, but also of course very nerve wracking. So that it's a mixture of like good and bad nervousness, and just like, wow, I'm out of my mind. I'm actually going to do it.
So was there something or anything in that first shoot that was different than you kind of envisioned or expected? Was there kind of a wow factor of something?
Well, yes, and not necessarily, in a mean way, but it necessarily didn't go how I fully assumed. I mean, granted, I didn't have too many assumptions because it's like, I know it can't be of like, oh, the horror stories of, again, like back in the day of what you think, oh, what it is. I didn't necessarily have any of those thoughts. I'm just like, okay, I don't really know what to expect, but I guess you say just the person not being ready. Things didn't necessarily start for like a while. Like basically it wasn't set up by the time I got there. And then during it, it just like, I guess say the communication really wasn't there of like how long it'd be going and things like that. So that kind of took me by surprise of like, oh, this is going much longer than I was expecting. And then it made me feel kind of like awkward and weird of like, oh, okay, as, paraphrasing, not saying, oh, is this over? But it's almost in my head, I'm like, okay, are we done? Like, this is kind of getting a little tedious. That was mainly it.
And I guess I can see that. Yeah, you get to the point where you're just like, okay, is the pop shot coming or what?
Yeah, because let's just say it was mainly an edging thing, which I knew that's what was going to be. Like
okay,
edging, blowjob. I was fine with that, but I'm just like, in my experience, I didn't know they could go necessarily 4 hours long, and I'm like, oh, plus that extra hour to get set up. So that's why I was like, okay, this is getting a little much.
Yeah.
But minus that, basically the environment was perfectly fine. It's just the unpreparedness was really the only downside.
Yeah. And again, that's fair, kind of going in and being like, all right, first time, let's see how this is going to be. You have some expectations, but then if they're blown out of the water, it's just like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Well, after that, as we had said, Playboy Centerfold. That is, when you look at magazine and things like that, that is the pinnacle. That is the top. Had you had any modeling kind of photo work prior to that, and how did that all come about?
Of actual like again, I guess it's easy to say mainstream modeling. No, it's just been me, Instagram, like social media.
Sure.
And I guess say with the Playboy, it's not something I ever thought of because, again, that kind of goes into the other stuff of the industry, that's where, I'm, kind of back and forth on some things, is like a Playboy thing. When that happened, I'm like, oh, wow, that's really shocking because my body type and how I look, I'm like, well, that's not how Playboy bunnies look. They're supposed to be, either very curvy or very large, breasts. Like, they have a look. And it's like,
a stereotypical look. You're very much right through all the years of that.
So it's like that. I never even thought of it. I'm like, oh, it'd be, kind of cool, but I never thought of it because I didn't think I fit. And that's one thing I will say of like the why Playboy started is kind of like the same thing of it wasn't necessarily probably meant to be, oh, this is just something for someone to jerk off to. It's supposed to be kind of artistic photos, which I'm like, well, I appreciate that because like when it comes to anything adult, I like, say, nude shots and things like that, like when there's more of a thought to them, not just, oh, we're just trying to be dirty. And I know they're trying to basically, I think, break out of that mold of everybody has to, like you said, be a stereotypical body type. So they're looking more for normal women, like average, like what people look like. Not
it's that change, yes.
Yeah.
And that is, as Mrs. said, that amateur, that the dad bod, it's, Playboy never was that, but again, there is some change and moving. So, to grace those covers as a centerfold and be a Playmate, that's a huge accomplishment. That's great.
It blows my mind too, because it's like I said, see my own self, I've always had, kind of body issues of, I think every girl to a point does, but it's like getting into the industry. That's another reason why I am more now than a year ago gravitated definitely more towards women and trying to do things that are more authentic, is because like when you start out, you get a lot of, all whatever producers, all the different kind of people that you could run into. And a lot of them are like, oh, you don't have, say, large breasts, or you don't fit this mold. And it's like, at first that it got to me. It did, like, it started making me have, body issues that I kind of done away with years ago. And it's like, that's not right. Like, people shouldn't like be able to make women or men feel your body is inferior because it's not the stereotype.
Extremely fair. And we have, so in the past, and we've talked to a lot of people in regards to tattoos, because there was so much that struggle. If you had any type of tattoo artwork, that had to be on the kink side of the industry, and it's starting to be more accepting. Yes, there's some big name performers that do have tattoos, and you're starting to see that grow. Anything outside of a black or a blonde hair, you're seeing that grow and become more accepted. And we think as well that is the generations, because again, as we talked, and our parents growing up, that generation was women don't get tattoos. Only guys do.
Yeah, like that. It's weird. It's something I didn't either also think about starting out, but that's something I've noticed even just recently. Of because that's my thing is too. I can be kind of like a chameleon. I can kind of change up like how I look. And I've noticed, especially recently, of like people at first like, oh, again, like I said, because my body type isn't normal, of like the larger breasts and this. I had blonde hair, and they're like, the tattoos, the body wasn't necessarily correct. They're like, oh, you don't really fit mainstream. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll try to be, like I'll be on alternative side of, okay, well, not, even though to you I don't see how I'm not mainstream, because a lot of girls they don't all look the same. There's sometimes kind of smaller girls, and they're getting more popular, like the different looks and what's stereotypical. And I've noticed that a lot of things that tended to want to say book with me are first time shoots, or, oh, you look really like Girl Next Door. And I'm like, well, that's kind of sending me mixed messages. On one hand, one saying, no, you don't look mainstream. But on the other, it's like, oh, no, you're really innocent and the cute type. I'm like, well, I'm more the dominant type, but you just don't think that. So it's like, it's
Sure.
odd, the tattoo thing. I've started noticing they really still want you to look like plain. Because I have just a few tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I always want, like a sleeve of them. But I think that's why I've noticed they're like, oh, you don't have too many tattoos. I'm like, I didn't think tattoos necessarily mattered anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's becoming, as I said, more accepted. When we started with, doing some work with another company 7 years ago, it really was you didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, in mainstream, it is becoming more accepted. Again, as you had said, you have, as we've gone through some of your work, you've gone from, multicolored hair to the blonde. But again, there is a fetish, a look, a kink, whatever you want to call it, for everyone. And I think some of the OnlyFans as well has changed some of that perception within mainstream, because in mainstream, these directors and producers can look at OnlyFans and, you know what, some of the top, if you take the top 100 earning creators, I guarantee you the spread is from one end of the spectrum to another.
Oh, of course.
It's variety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing like that. And like you said, the whole point of being so positive about, sex, sexuality and stuff is that's true. Like, everybody has a thing they like. There's something for everybody. And just like that, not everyone likes the normal looking person. They may like a little different, or a little color, or a little, anything different.
Yeah. And we're not, everybody's, we've talked about the non-monogamous swingers lifestyle and the kink world. As I had said earlier, it's like a spider web where there is a fetish and a look for everyone. Everyone is different. We're not clones that have all the same tastes and desires and wants. And again, through our journey, even in the lifestyle, our partners have been different hair color, shapes, sizes. I guess for the most part, she always gears towards bald guys. I've been holding on to my hair for as long as I can, but it's like, she's like, oh yeah, there's another bald guy. I'm like, oh Jesus.
I do not. It's not like I seek them out. Jeez. No, and I can say too that like there's couples that we won't even approach because of certain looks. Like,
I can understand that.
Like, I mean, I don't want to say too pretty, but yeah.
I fully get that. Yeah,
because
I get that.
we've seen from experience that like
high maintenance.
They look great, but the personality isn't always there.
Yeah, I can get that, because I guess we maybe look certain looks, so it's like we don't maybe have to try as much, or they kind of just fall on we're pretty. I fully understand that.
Yeah. Well, again, the accolades and what you have created in your career and within the industry in the short amount of time is great. Again, from screen to print, there definitely are not a lot of people that can say they have that.
Thank you very much.
So as you continue kind of your career, where do you see that going at right now?
I guess honestly of what I would like to happen, and isn't necessarily, against the industry or producers or big name studios. I guess one thing I would love to be able to do is, like I said when I started, of being able to be more on the production end, obviously model in the shot, but to produce more like authentic queer women, or just in general like queer content that can be out there. Like, I would love to be able to produce and have my hand in actually creating the shoots, because there's a lot of just, you don't get much control when, say you're shooting with someone else, or you have to do, which that's fine, say their script, but it's like, I've always, been kind of like a perfectionist, again, art background. So like, I like having my hand in maybe some of how things are going to turn out. So for me, I would love to be able to actually start producing things with myself, other women, to like get a real look of, hey, this is how women really do interact with each other and things like that. Because I guess on the small end, say kids or teenagers, which they know everything now, but maybe they'll come across stuff and it's like, oh, okay, so this is what I do, not I'm gonna try something crazy because I'm just trying to mimic what I seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's extremely fair. Yeah. And I can see from what you had just said, from that production side, because at the end of the day too, your name is on it and attached. So you want that control to be able, you want some of that control as well to be able to say, hey, look, I back this and this is what I believe in. You just didn't walk into a studio or into an apartment or wherever you're filming and they say, okay, here, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Act and go. But your name's still on that. So you, it still is a reflection of you.
Yeah, it's like you want to be proud of what you did, not like, oh,
Exactly.
yeah, I did that. It was fine, but would I'd rather have not? Probably. But like that, I want to be proud of what I make.
Sure. Well, we definitely, again, it was, it was great for us to kind of see who you were and some of your stuff, and we'll definitely be looking forward to the future of that career and the industry.
Yes,
but
I've very much enjoyed time too.
Yeah, but we do want to kind of ask you, as we've kind of gone through. So you operate a nonprofit organization. So you can share a little bit about that, because as we looked, I'm like, wow. That is impressive.
Well, yeah, I guess sorry. I guess it's like the nonprofit stuff of, not going to too much detail. It's mainly like just the idea of being able to help out the community. Like, in any, like, say, little aspect of being able to help out the community, like, what I've seen of, like, what Clear Testing does. I like what they do. They have a shop where you can buy some items and they take those funds to help others who, say, can't afford to be tested. They get that set aside so others can be. It's like things like that. That's what I enjoy doing, of being able to help out the community where I can. Like being able to give a donation, advice, basically just being able to be like a helping hand and like an ear, or if somebody needs something, it's like, hey, I can do that, or hey, I can help you. I have the means, the ability. I see something, that needs help. I can help that. And it's like, I've always kind of been like that. Mainly when it's I was used to, of animals. Like when it comes to animals, of course, if I could help, I would like to help animals. But it's like in the adult industry and with people, so many get looked over. People just kind of, you can see right past them and they don't help. So that thought of, if I can help out, it, not for myself, because I don't care about the glory or none of that, but just the thought of, if I could help someone that people look over, it makes me feel like I've made maybe a small difference.
It's about being a compassionate, good human being.
Yeah.
And I everything that you've kind of said there, I mean, I have, yes, with my day job and my company, we do charity work. We have friends, we have a lot of friends that know that I will drop everything. Both of us will drop what we were doing. If we can assist someone, if someone is in need, if you need anything, we're there.
That's very commendable.
Yeah, my background is food service. So yes, I have gone and, donated time in a soup kitchen. just, to give back. Yes,
Yeah.
we've been lucky enough to be able to have a roof over our head and heat and food on the table, but to be able to turn around and assist others that, well, you know what, you don't know their background. Everybody comes on hard times. We have in the past.
Well,
Guess
that's
what?
being human.
Yes. So, to give back and, show compassion within your community, it's such a big thing, and it's commendable what you are doing to, again,
there's too many people out there who do it just for the accolades.
Oh yeah, and sadly,
And that's not what it's
all
about.
the time. But yeah, most time you could see past, and it's like, well, that's not even the point. I mean, maybe you're helping, and that's a good thing, but it's just almost like false.
It defeats the purpose if you're like, oh yeah, look what I did.
Yeah, and you're on social media. You're here. Look at me doing this. No, you're not doing it for the right things then, because again, a lot of doing it for the right doesn't require a pat on the back. I'm not doing this for a pat on the back.
Right.
And again,
it's not about how it makes you feel. It's about how the person receiving whatever it is, how it makes them feel.
Oh yeah, of course, and like you said, especially if somebody or something, say, has fallen hard times, or something has happened in your life, and it's like, oh wow, I get it now. Or it's like, oh, I can see someone actually does need help. It's like it gives you another perspective of, oh, I can understand. It's not just, oh, well, you're this reason because that. It's like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't your fault, or there's reasons for everything.
Sure. Yeah. And you don't need to know those either. It's all right. You're having a tough time. Here it is. As we looked and in doing some research, and we looked at your website for that. Just holiday dinners, turkeys to people that maybe cannot afford that, and that feeling with someone that says, "Hey, here's a turkey." Have just that little thing is great. So, I mean, for the listeners again, I mean, if there's any, opportunity, I mean, any way that, we would, if we can assist you in any way, just what you're doing there, that shows zero selfishness and wanting to be a part.
Well, thank you. And that's I guess to tie that back into the industry is, everyone has different reasons for why and what they do, but it's like, say, the money part, or people assume, oh, I can make a lot of money out of this. That's something that never has been a thought. I'm like, oh, basically, of course, interested of what you could make. Obviously, anyone would, but it's like, that would not be my number one thought. My number one thought isn't, oh, well, I can do this all for money, because it's like, then that does start to feel very cheap. So it's like the money side of stuff, that's never ever been necessarily a thought for me. It's of, like I said, of being able to create something, I guess, to share with someone.
Yeah. And when you think and look about it like that, hey, I enjoy it. It's different. Somebody may enjoy this as well.
Oh yeah.
But wow. I again, just overall, the art, the compassion,
Are you almost speechless? My goodness.
I really am, and like I said, as we were kind of going through, I'm like, it is what you are doing is so tied in line with what we have really want listeners to understand, that guess what, the industry. People within the industry, there's such a huge chunk that are true great people on camera and off. And you are juggling both sides of it, and you are successful and showing that, hey, I am here, and truly a caring, compassionate as well on that flip side, because you're looking to help the community. You're looking to help others.
Well, yeah, because I guess that's the thing. Like you said, there is a handful of there's good, genuine people out there, but it is, and that's, like I said, that's one thing where I do also wanted to gravitate more towards girls is because there's, not in a mean way, but there's kind of like a seedy, like cesspool of people you do have to try to bypass. And it's like a lot of them, you could tell it's like how, say, a certain person is or acts. It's like these women and men, like they're worth more than just a toy. Like they're not just an object.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I've noticed, say like a collab of, say, two girl models, like they tend to be a little more like, oh, we're more understanding because we're in it for, say, each other, or we're not just in it for the money. It's like, I guess that's one thing. It's nice when you can, say, find some people who, like you said, are genuine and real, because everyone else is so toxic. And it's like that's like I say, like me, like I want to try to contribute more to the non-toxic side of the industry.
Yeah. Again, the real, genuine human beings, and again, we've met so many of them through, and yes, you do see the toxic fake, and and navigating that, is from a viewer standpoint and a fan standpoint, you're not necessarily looking at that. You're looking at, as you said, hey, this is the stereotype of what I want to see, and it's great.
Yeah. And like that of normalizing, of say, even men and women in the industry, say, off camera, they don't always have to be on. Like, they're not just, like, ready to go. Like, that's the thing about normalizing sex in all aspects is, even in the industry, just because they're a performer doesn't mean they're always ready to go. Or, say, just someone in their personal life really enjoys sex and everything doesn't mean, oh, they're automatically a whore or they're slutty. It's like normalizing it across the board is what matters, where it's like, well, okay, this doesn't have to be looked at as a bad thing, or, oh, you're this kind of a person, or you're dirty. It's like, well, depending on how you do and what you do, as long as you're safe, who you're with is safe, that should be not weird to people. It should be like, oh, okay, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
right. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody goes home and has to cook and clean and, take care of significant others, families, pets.
Yeah.
Pets.
Everybody, we all put our pants on one leg at a time.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
And people don't separate the two.
Yeah.
Or, they think that performers are always on, walking around all made
That's
up
who they
and all
are,
that.
And you're always just looking to get laid. And we've had ourselves throughout convention tours, some performers that we have met and become friends with. It's always good because we'll see them at a convention and we'll go up to their booth and they said, you know what? And they'll give us a hug and say, it's so great to see you. I said, well, yeah, you too. And they said, no, you just don't understand. We can be ourselves for 5 minutes standing here and talking about our pets and bullshitting with you. And we can unwind.
Right. We can relax for
5 minutes because everybody needs to get out of that character as well.
Oh, yeah, because you have to put up, and, it doesn't have to be like a strict front, but you kind of do have to keep up this front of course, never necessarily playing into what people want just because and hurting yourself, but you have to keep this somewhat front of, I am what you see, but you can't necessarily take advantage of what you see. It's a little balancing act.
Yeah.
Right. It's a mental balancing act.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
So as we kind of wrap up this conversation, have you ever, or are you ever looking at doing any type of fan-facing conventions?
Honestly, if I'm able to go to them, I would be interested.
Okay.
Because I'm in an area where it's there's nothing here.
And really in the area you are, it would be the Exoticas.
That's mainly what I'd probably one day would definitely like to be able to get to.
Yeah. And they're great. They're fun. Again, they announced the dates for New Jersey. They are going to be back in Washington, D.C. this year, and then in Miami. So But
In Chicago. Chicago's the first one coming up.
but being on the East Coast, I mean, that would be, and the East Coast is definitely a tough area when so much, as we record this, it's X3 XBiz weekend in LA. Next weekend is AVN in Vegas. And it's so tough for when those are the big awards and conventions for people on the East Coast. It's tough.
Yeah, that's another thing I definitely, again, like you said, this is in general of a wow moment. That's definitely something I didn't think about at all when I, thought of going mainstream of, it's going to be hard to necessarily say find others to work with, but it's like, oh wow, it's really tough on this side.
Yeah. And we've talked to a lot. Yes, you can go down to, and there's some companies in Miami and those Florida companies, but that majority of them are all out west, and LA and Vegas is, and it's tough. We actually looked at the possibility because we do have our second nomination for an AVN award this year, and we're like, okay, do we? And I looked and I'm like, to try to get out to Las Vegas for, even 3 days, I'm like, So, that's a struggle. Easy. No, it really isn't. And where we are in Pittsburgh,
there isn't a straight.
There's pretty much, you might get lucky and find one direct flight. You always have to fly out of somewhere because Pittsburgh is no longer an airport hub for anyone.
And so, those are the flights that you're paying for.
When you do find them. Yeah, so it's all over the place. But no, if you're ever able to make it to an Exotica, we would love the opportunity to meet you in person and sit down and have a conversation, because
I think that sounds really nice.
Again, everything that we talked about here today and everything that you are doing and the compassion, the performances, everything is very very much a small percentage of the industry.
Yeah, and that's sad because like even you guys, you again are like against some say others I've met are very like genuine, like down to earth. Of you're not, like you said, just trying to exploit or get the biggest pop. It's like you're normal people, and like, hey, everybody's just normal out here. Yeah. They may try to act like they're not, but everyone's normal at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And we're glad you said that, because that's, again, what we've always tried to portray to our guests and to other people. Look, we're a husband and wife from the middle of nowhere, Western Pennsylvania. We're nobodies, but that just really wants to bring your story and normalize it. We're not in this for anything other than to... It
still blows our mind that we can
have these conversations.
And we can call some of these bigger,
the mainstream
performers friends, and it's still crazy to us after this.
And it's probably and it's probably why, because that like you said, people, they tend to like gravitate towards what they see is real. Like they could see like, oh, you're a real person, I can trust talking or being with you, because everyone else is so fake, or you can't trust them. And it's like when you find others you can talk to, and it's like, oh no, we really don't care what you do or what you are. We're going to talk to you like a human being.
That's it.
That's like the main thing of, wanting to make content that is as authentic as it can be, because some things, just maybe can't be, but like that's it. People will tend to, I think, click more with things they can see as real and they can get behind it. Like they can invest themselves into it.
Sure. Yeah. And absolutely right, especially when it comes to content. So, again, we truly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to sit down and talk to us, and again to reach out initially and say, hey, I'd love the opportunity to sit down and talk with you. We truly do appreciate that.
I appreciate being able to be on, because like I said, I think we were both on the same page of this is a thing that needs to be, bigger and more normal. Of there needs to be, like you said, a voice of, hey, just normalcy. Like there's not enough of that out there.
Yeah. Yep. And again, it was definitely good getting to learn more about you and have this conversation.
Thank you.
One more time before we go, can you just let everyone know where they can find you online and on social media?
I guess that's definitely, like I said, made it easy. It is Briti Black everywhere. On Twitter, it's Briti BLK, and you can find all the adult links on BritiBlack.com, and it's BRITI.
All right.
Awesome.
Very good. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Continued success in everything that you are doing, and look forward to, one day having the opportunity to meet you and sit down and have a face-to-face conversation.
I think that would be great. Thank you.
All right. Well, have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.